Anton Murphy and Lorcan Fitzgerald, it's a great start to the season, another win, and a great start to the home season, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we want to kind of make Dalymount a fortress, and with last season's start we had, I didn't think we won for the first 10 home games, and it's great kind of start the season now, and 6 points from 2 games, it's a good return.
Lorcan, you're back playing consistently, after a disappointing probably last few years, and what's it been like so far?
Yeah, it's just good to get back playing games, that's the reason I wanted to come here. And when I spoke to Keith in the off season, he said if you do the things you should be doing, then you should be playing. So I've started the last 2, and hopefully I can keep on going now and hopefully get a few more wins under the belt, And
Andrew just mentions there making Dalymount a fortress, and if these sort of results are the ones to be getting 2-0, against a very strong Galway United side.
Yeah, I thought they done well. As he said, we want to try make this place a fortress, as he said, and I said we want to make it for teams that they don't want to come here, If we can do that and then pick a few results away from home, then we should be pushing up the table, hopefully, and staying there.
And Ando, you're known for your goals from set pieces, and another 2 tonight.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, we kind of we talked about it before the game that they were kind of weak on set pieces, but can't argue the deliveries were in. Lorcan for the first one, I just had to put my head to it, and then with Griff's one, says it was pretty handy enough just where they're dropping. So as long as the delivery is good, you can't complain then.
And the both of you have been in amongst the goals now, which was probably something you didn't expect me to be saying. After both of you obviously being defenders.
Well, he's up near the top charts now, and so am I. So I doubt we'll stay there for that long. But we'll just wait and see. If there's a few more that come, then so be it. But we just want to concentrate and get the win, and then whoever scores.
All due respect to Bohemians in these 2 games. It's like obviously you've won both the games, so you're not going to be caring too much. But it's not the most attractive football the Dalymount Park has ever seen. But it's definitely the football that Keith would have been playing when at loan. We're getting results at the end of last season, and it's definitely a winning combination.
Yeah, definitely. I thought we played a bit better now the second half. The first half was a bit scrappy, and that pitch is a bit leggy still. Hopefully when that gets a bit better, we can start getting it down and playing a bit better football, and obviously still winning. At the end of the day, we want to get the 3 points, and that's the main thing. You
will have been playing against Limerick and Galway now, 2 teams who have sort of have a similar sort of defensive mindset. And when you come up against the stronger, the obvious sort of Dundalks, the Sligos, the Shamrock Rovers, etc. They're gonna come out and play against you a bit more. And that's probably something that'll suit this Bohemian side. Yeah,
don't get me wrong. It was great getting the 2 wins against kind of the teams probably around us come the end of the season. We need to be getting the points, but the likes of the Rovers, Dundalks, we know the stronger team, bigger budgets, and hopefully we can nick something. If, as Lorcan said, if you can go up to Oriel Park or go to Calla and nick a draw, it's an away point. It's a great advantage for those then coming back here.
And you look at it this year. They're such a strong. Cork have the loads of Ireland internationals. You've obviously got them at Rovers as well. It's such a strong league this year. What is realistically Bohemian's target?
I said we're only taking it 1 game at a time. I said we've come on to a good start now, and we want to kick on and hopefully win a few more. Realistically, I said we have our own individual targets that we've set at the start of the season. Now we look at that first round of games after that, we'll see where we are and hopefully push on from there. But I said we started well, so hopefully Long may continue, And
finally, you look at Keith Long. He obviously Athlone went down last year, but the football he had them playing. The games they were winning as well. He definitely looks to have that winning mentality. And it looks like the sort of thing a true Bohemians manager, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he has it drilled into us. Every day training and working on certain things. He has kind of his homework done on the teams that were coming up to play. So he had his homework done on Galway. We were in watching small little clips on how to exploit them, and it's worked today. And long way, as Lorcan says, it's a good start. But it's only 6 points. We've another tough game now next Saturday against Bray, and that's our main focus now.
Finally, how different would you say that? Obviously it's only the start of the season, but how different would you say that Keith has been in comparison to maybe Owen Heary last year?
2 different outlooks. Keith kind of he wants us to play a bit more ball. We're on defensive mindedly, but there's not much difference between the both of them. Keith brought his own players in, put his own stamp on, Owen when he took over. So there's not much of a difference. It's just, as Lorc says, he's come here after being with Pats, winning stuff, and he's come here to play. And a lot of the lads in there now are going to be snapping at our heels that if for any reason that we drop the low car, there's lads like you seen the other night against that loan, there's only 2 lads started. from the Limerick game, and they got their chance and they took it, and you can see that if we have a bad game, there's lads there to step in, so we have to be kept on our toes.
Alright, thank you very much. I mean, you must be gutted with that result, especially considering the Bohemians, while they did play some nice football at times, were probably not. They're probably one of the teams who are going to be in and around Galway United this season.
Oh yeah, we're definitely obviously gutted with the results. We're gutted with every loss. We never showed up today. You know, in stages we strung a couple of passes together, but nothing. Never really looked like ourselves. And at the end of the day, it came down to 2 set pieces, whereas their set pieces were decent. They moved the ball, they won their headers, and we didn't.
You mentioned, you know, you did, like the Galway never really showed up today. I mean, you look at it, Bohemians really only had maybe 3 clear-cut chances, but I mean, in comparison, Galway United never really looked like they were actually threatening the Bohs' goal.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance until, I suppose, Gaz went through there at the end when it was 2-0. That's the only chance you could say that we had where you'd say we should have scored. But other than that, we were just poor tonight. You know, we were off it. We got to go again on Monday, starting again Monday, and we just got to go again next week.
Obviously, you've a small bit of experience in the Premier Division, but I mean, a lot of the lads will not have played in the Premier Division before. Do you think it's been a tough sort of a restart for them?
No, I don't think so. No, the lads are well capable for it. We know that. Yeah. We know within ourselves we are. We just haven't got going yet, which is disappointing. You know, the lads are really disappointing there. Obviously, from our point of view, it's not a good start. But I mean, it's only 2 games in. It's not like we're panicking. You know, so we're going to go again Monday. We'll rethink everything and we start again on Monday and prepare for next Friday.
You look at the game against Derry and then this game today. I mean, it seems like it looks like the formula is almost about to click into place for Tommy, and then once that happens, it looks like anything's possible for Galway United.
Yeah, well, it is. I think we started a bit slow last season as well, but
yeah,
it will click eventually. We know that. You know, that's why we're not panicking. We're not panicking. Well, we're not comparing it to last year because obviously this year is such a step up comparing to last year. That's no disrespect to the first division, but it is a step up. You know, it is going to click, and we're not trying to wait for it to click. You know, we wanted it to click last week, and it did click for the first half. Unfortunately, the second half we didn't come out, and it's just this week, for whatever reason, we didn't perform to the way we can. So we're just disappointed. But as I said again, and as I keep saying, we'll go again next week, and we're ready again for next Friday.
And finally, you know, you're talking about last season. I mean, it's probably been good for Galway. I mean, obviously not so far. The results haven't necessarily displayed it, but I mean, last year was one of the stronger first divisions. I mean, you had the likes of Shelburne who were playing really like amazing football, and Longford as well, who were just such a strong squad. And I mean, it was probably the perfect preparation season for coming into the Premier Division this year.
Yeah, definitely, because it was strong last year, and obviously we got the chance to play in the playoffs against UCD, who we know are a strong outfit. We know they're as good as the likes of any of the teams that are going to be around us wherever we are in the Premier Division this year. So I mean, again, we just got to rethink everything, get a bit more belief about us within the dressing room, which we have. We just need to really believe it, like you know, really. When we come out next Friday, we need to really believe we're going to win this game. You know, we've no problems because we know we're good enough. And it will come together, hopefully starting next Friday.
Thank you very much.
Have we done disappointing evening?
Come here, listen, I'm looking at the games and I'm saying to myself, there's not a huge amount in the games. We said this last week and we're saying it again this week. There's between the 2 teams, there's not a whole lot, but obviously there is as regards to set pieces. And you know, in the last 2 weeks we've conceded from 3 corners and a throw in, so they're all set pieces. I know second phase on the, you know, the last week with one of the goals, it's sort of we're breaking and we get done on it. But overall, it's just silly little things, you know. So we got to make sure that we get clued in when we're defending set plays and that. And tonight, good deliveries into the box from them have to be defended. We didn't put any good deliveries from our set plays into the box.
And you probably got your more first choice defence in this evening, so obviously you must have been disappointed obviously to concede those goals.
Yeah, like the game, you start off and you're with you know, you're coming away from home, you're playing a tough Dublin team, and after 5 minutes you concede a soft goal. Now when I look at it, and I've said this already, with our players, we're very honest as a group, and whereas I look at them, if they get hit they roll around a bit more, or like even for the free kick for the first goal, you can see what the wide player is doing. He's enticing our full back to come in, so he picks up a free kick, like these are little things, and that can be the difference. But from our point of view, I think overall, like, I'd be worried if we're getting torn asunder. That's what I would say. But for me, as I said, there's not a huge amount in the games. We had a great chance to get back in it. We didn't take it late on, but it's probably a little bit too late. And I have a lot of guys who've done really well last year. Now they've just got to get to the pace of the Premier Division and believe that they can play in the Premier Division. I'm half looking, and I'm looking at some of the players, and there's a little bit of doubt in their mind. Are they going to be good enough? And I've no doubt that they are good enough, but they have to believe that.
I mean, you mentioned it wasn't the perfect, like it hasn't been the perfect start, but it definitely wasn't the perfect start last year. I mean, as well. I mean, it's the sort of thing that the players just have to keep going, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. It's as I said, they have to start getting a bit more confidence in themselves as regards of playing here and up to speed, because a lot of teams are at it and after us, and they have to get used to that and get used to the speed of the games. And for me now, come here, the guys they'll be fine, they'll be okay.
And finally, you mentioned that some of the lads, they look like they're not 100% there in terms of belief that they can compete in the Premier Division. But I mean, you look at the league you were in last year, the likes of Longford, brilliant, and Shelburne playing the amazing football they were playing at times. I mean, it was a very good it was a good like season to prepare them for what they're going to be facing against teams up in this division.
Yeah, listen, we done well. It was more towards the end of the season we had done well, So, like as I said, there's not a huge amount in the games. It's the basic things that seem to be letting us down at the moment. And if you can't if you can't stop set plays, then you're going to have a problem, and that's a big problem at the moment.
Thank you very much. Delaney, it's been the perfect start of the season so far. I mean, 5 scored, none conceded. I mean, it's a great start for Bohemians so far.
Yeah, including the 2 cup games as well. That's the Senior League Cup and the EA Cup. It's been a great start, But I mean, we won't rest on our laurels. We'll be a big game next week now against Bray. If we can get 3 points there, stand us in good stead then for the start of the season.
Limerick, Galway United and Bray are probably teams who people would perceive are going to be around Bohemians towards the end of the season. I mean, these are huge games.
I think outside the top 4 or 5, there's a mini league going on there, And it's important for us. We knew the fixtures that we had coming up, that we got a good start, got as many wins as we can. That's what we're looking at. And if we can, like I said, if we can go beat Bray next week, it'd be a great start. We can't complain with that.
Well, thank God you won this game, because last year it was a real struggle getting that first home win.
Yeah, we were under pressure for a while last year, but again, once the win came, then it was the monkey off the back, so to speak. So we went on to win an awful lot of games then, and actually have a good season, in the cups as well. So I think once you have a good start, like we've done, we've hit the ground running, and once you get that under your belt, the rest should take care of itself.
You'd probably admit yourself, with all due respect to Bohemians' performance tonight, I mean, it wasn't the best footballing performance we've ever seen at Dalymount. But I mean, it was typical of even the football Keith Long would have had Athlone playing at the end of last year.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't like at times it wasn't pretty to watch, and we knew that ourselves coming in at half time, and we rattled each other trying to get ourselves up for the second half. And I think it was just one of those games. Maybe we were a bit leggy with the cup game during the week as well, but to get 3 points and a clean sheet and not play particularly well is a good sign, good sign.
I mean, you look at like Galway United. I mean, they had maybe 1, maybe 2 shots you had a lot of trouble with. I mean, in games like that, they're probably even tougher than the games where the shots are raining in, because concentration wise you have to be very much in it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, when you play the bigger sides, the likes of Rovers, Sligo and what have you, you're going to be busy, for me personally, but the likes of them games, it's all about concentration. That's what you'd be saying to the young lads, it's games like that where you can make an of yourself and keep clean sheets, but it's all about the concentration. The saves will come in big games, and that you're going to be busy. So that's the other side of the game for goalkeeping. It's concentration and trying to tidy up stuff over the top and crosses and stuff. Yeah.
You mentioned the 2 Rovers. Obviously, they're going to be like the Dundalk and Cork and stuff. I mean, they're going to be big teams to play against, probably the tougher teams. But I mean, you look at those. Like we're talking about. I was talking to some of the lads earlier. They were saying, maybe nick a draw or whatever. I mean, it seems like but they seem like unambitious goals almost.
No, look, you have to be realistic as well. These sides are full time. The players are on, in and around 600 to £1,000 a week. It's a major difference to what we're on, and it's the size of our squad. And although we train probably 4 nights a week, including the game before, probably you could call that full time if you want, but most of the lads work, you know. So you have to look at it in a realistic pair of eyes. That's where we're coming from. But no, we'll go to give these teams games. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, it's important for us, the teams around us, that we can express ourselves and try and go and win the game. You know.
Realistically, though, where would Bohemians sort of like see themselves going? Because you mentioned that those lads are obviously they're on huge wages. They're full-time professional footballers. I mean, but like how do Bohemians plan to compete with teams like that, and where do they plan to go towards the end of the season?
Well, we done it last year, you know. We getting to the semi-final and the quarter-final of the cups, you know, and having a decent run in the league. I mean, their budget is probably in the bottom 4 or 5, you know, for the year. So we done really well last year, but then we got plucked. You know, players that are doing well are going to get plucked. They're going to go to other clubs where they can earn a decent wage, you know, and maybe not have to work, and that's their job, you know. But for us, it's a bit of a reality check when we look at stuff on paper like that. But when we play games, don't get me wrong, we're going out to win. It's not like we're going to roll over and just accept a draw or a defeat, you know. We'll be going to win these games, and like I said, it was a decent season last year with some of the results we got. But I mean, 9 times out of 10, maybe 8 times out of 10 this, so it should be beaten if you look at it on paper, you know. But it never happens like that, you know.
Thank you very much.